What's up, Reds fans? It's Greg here from Cincinnati Reds Daily. We're here to talk about the first half winners and losers. What a first half it's been. We've officially reached the All-Star break. The Reds are 50 and 47. They're just 2.5 games back of a National League wildcard spot. We've seen some breakouts, we've seen some disappointments. Today, we're handing out some mid-season grades with some winners and losers, like I said in the first half. Who stepped up, who struggled, who kind of was in between. We'll talk about it all. But first, like I always say, if you're here, hit the like button, subscribe. Thanks for being here. It really helps us out. With the first winner, let's go with Andrew Abbott. No surprise here. Andrew Abbott is a first time All Star. The 25-year-old left hander has been nothing short of incredible this season. With Hunter Green missing time, Abbott's taken over as the ace of the staff. He's 8-1 with a sparkling 2.07 ERA in the highest F WAR among Reds pitchers at 2.1. Actually, third on the team if you include the position players. The big improvement, he's finally keeping the ball in the park. He's averaging less than a home run per 9 innings. That's been a huge reason why Abbott's having the year he's having. If you're watching this on Tuesday, you'll get to see him pitch in the All-Star game tonight, which is pretty exciting. I think he's expected to pitch in the fifth or sixth inning. Abbott's development couldn't have come for a better time for this team. One more thing I'll say about Andrew Abbott. I believe it was last Wednesday. The Reds had lost four straight, two to the Phillies, two to the Marlins, and it was looking like the Reds desperately needed a win. What does Andrew Abbott do? He pitches 7 2/3 innings, gives up 1 run on 6 hits, just goes out there, and again, he was that stopper the Reds needed. Now we're moving on to winner number two. You can probably guess this one, Elly De La Cruz. Elly De La Cruz, of course, he's here at just 23. He's already a two-time All-Star. Not many other National League shortstops in the history of the game have been a two-time All-Star at age 23. He's putting up numbers that make him belong in the MVP conversation. He was eighth in the National League MVP conversation last season, voting, I should say, last season. Elly leads the Reds in nearly every offensive category. RBIs, runs, stolen bases, and his F4 leads the team at 3.5. Elly De La Cruz has scored 72 runs this season, which ranks fifth best in the first half of a season among Cincinnati Reds players ever. That's pretty good. He's slashing 284, 359, 495 with 18 home runs and 25 stolen bases. His power and speed combination is absolutely electric. His improved plate discipline, he's striking out fewer and fewer. The Facebook crowd can't complain about his strikeouts near as much anymore. He's walking more and more. He just puts up better and better at bats. He works the count, waits for his pitch. Elly's just been unbelievable. Oh, and the best part, he's played in all 97 games for the Reds this season. Winner number three for the Reds is outfielder T.J. Friedl. You could make an argument that T.J. Friedl deserves to be in the All-Star game tonight. He didn't make it, but he's had a heck of a first half. He's been consistent. He's played in 93 of the Reds' 97 games. He's slashing 276, 368, 406 with excellent on base skills, and he ranks second on the team in F WAR behind only Elly De La Cruz. Friedel's walking more than 11% of the time and striking out under 16% of the time. That's exactly what you love from a leadoff guy. Again, you could argue Friedel deserved to be in the All-Star game tonight. He didn't quite make it, but he's been great atop the Reds lineup. In our last winner, plenty more you could make an argument, but I'm going to go with Noelvi Marte. Let's give some props to Noelvi Marte. After starting the year in AAA, the Reds, I should say in spring training, the Reds basically sent him down in the minors and said, hey, go work on your stuff in AAA. You're not going to start the year with the team. He instantly started tearing it up in AAA, came up, started playing well instantly, and then dealt with a groin injury, which caused him to miss some time. I think it was a month to 2 months, somewhere in between there. I personally am a huge Noelvi Marte fan. I was worried that he was going to come back and not be like he was before the injury. And he's come back and be just as good. Marte's hitting 284, 337, 547 with 6 home runs in 28 games. His 263 isolated power is the best on the team, showing off his pop in his bat. He's had some throwing struggles at third base, but lately he's looked better over there. Um, if he can figure that out, he's a cornerstone of this Reds franchise. There's a reason the Reds traded for him in the Luis Castillo deal. At 23, his ceiling is sky high, and he could be a major factor in the second half of the season and ultimately be a big key if the Reds do go on to make the playoffs. Now, those are the winners. You can make arguments for a bunch of guys. Probably Emilio Pagan, Nick Lodolo has had an underrated first half. There's a million guys you could add on that list. It's no fun to talk about the losers in the first half, but we have to do it. Let's get into it. It's time to talk about the losers in the first half for the Cincinnati Reds. The first guy, I'm a huge fan of this guy. I predicted he could almost hit 30 home runs this season. I've been dead wrong. You can come at me for that. I was wrong. Christian Encarnacion Strand. Again, this one stings. I had expectations that he could potentially hit 30 home runs. He's been dealt with injuries, but I think ultimately it's his approach at the plate that has held him back. He's played just 36 games, slashing 208, 234, 377 with 6 home runs. He's striking out 23.4% of the time, and the lack of walks at just 2.2% of the time have been killers. He's swinging at way too many pitches outside the zone, and that just doesn't work in the big leagues. There's not many other pitchers. The only are hitters in the league that can get away with swinging at pitches outside of the zone like he does. The only guy I can think of in Major League Baseball career that had a successful career like that is Vladimir Guerrero Sr. He just got recently sent down to AAA. I'm hoping he really goes down there and works on his approach. Hit the pitch in the zone, hit mistakes, and don't chase. That's easier said than done because a guy like CES, he's probably swung at pitches all of his life outside the zone and been able to carry or do damage with them. But you can't get away with that in Major League Baseball. On to the next loser. This one, I'm sorry, but the Candyman Jeimer Candelario makes the list. His second year in Cincinnati started rough, and unfortunately, it just never got better. It seemed like he could have had a bounce back season. It seemed like he was a candidate for that after the Reds gave him a big 3-year contract last year's offseason. That was not the case. He played just 22 games for the Reds this season, slashed 113, 198, 213 before going on a rehab assignment, and the Reds ultimately decided to DFA him after the rehab assignment, eating the rest of his salary. And if that tells you anything with this ownership group, I think that speaks volumes of what they thought about Jeimer Candelario. Again, a disappointing signing. There's no other way around that, but the Candyman comes in as the second loser this year. The third one, I'll be honest, I've been too hard on this guy probably, but I don't blame the guy. I blame the positions that he's been in. So let's go to it. Everybody piles on him when he's in the lineup. It's Santiago Espinal. Santiago Espinal's first half has been frustrating. But here's what I'll say. I think Santiago Espinal is being put in places that he should not be placed in. Espinal should not be hitting against right-handed pitching. He's had 177 plate appearances against right-handed pitchers this year. He's managed just a 506 OPS in those plate appearances, one of the worst hitters in the league against right-handed pitching. Now, why do I say that? Listen, he's hit lefties well. He's hitting 293 against left-handed pitching. I mean, his OPS is over 700 against left-handed pitching. If the Reds and Terry Francona said, okay, Santiago Espinal is a platoon guy that faces lefties, and he's going to be a guy that comes in late as a defensive replacement, I think Reds fans would look at Espinal in a completely different light. But instead, he's facing righties way too often. They're having him face righties late in the game with the game close. It's been kind of wild with how they're using Santiago Espinal. Let's hope Noelvi Marte being back kind of turns Espinal back into that platoon guy. He can replace Marte late. We don't need to do it in the 7th inning or 6th inning, whatever they've been doing lately. But let's make Espinal's role not so big on this team. And the last one, this one pains me, Matt McLain. But I think it only makes sense to add him on this list. Whether it's right or not, it feels a little harsh since he's coming off shoulder surgery, but the Reds need Matt McLain to hit. Through 87 games, McLain slashing 201, 298, 337 with a WRC plus of 77 and 10 home runs. The defense has been strong, but if Cincinnati's going to make a playoff run, they need the version of Matt McLain we saw in 2023, or at least somewhat of that version. So that's it. Those are the winners and losers. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who would you add to either list? Drop your takes in the comments below. I'll be reading and responding. And don't forget to subscribe to Cincinnati Reds Daily for more Reds coverage. Thanks for being here. As always, we'll see you next time. Go Reds.